But we're going to be finding out very shortly here if we're going to have that upset or if we're going to go all the way to Game 3. We got Kyle and Toby to cast all the action.
Yeah, we are here. We're ready to go. And once again, Kyle, the panel swings the way of Virtus.pro, but I like the lineup of EHOME. They seem to have a lot on the board that allows them just to be aggressive when they want to be.
Yeah, especially with this new Drow build where typically people are buying Blink second and third item, you're going to get to a point where EHOME might be able to just grab a Roche and then all of a sudden eat through 3 towers and have total map dominance. It's very much a game of, I don't know if snowball's the right word, but like just momentum. This is a very momentum-based game.
Would you like to use a more hero-appropriate one? It's an avalanche for EHOME.
Oh my god.
Guess it's got a tiny.
Great one. Thanks, Toby. I'm
That
so
guy
glad
right
to be here with you.
That guy right there.
And your techies picking and your puns.
Hey, when techies comes up, that's when I actually go into the expert role.
Now, this is a cool game. This is another really difficult jug game and further evidence that Ramses just loves this hero. I don't know what Ramses and Reza were doing. Reza would, if he were not playing, he'd be listening and he'd be giggling because he probably knows that hero's bad, but it's just fun to play.
Man, I want to look at the better cosmetic that's inside this game, and if you can find a treant somewhere on the map, like, that's the coolest thing. Like these little guys that run with the little spears, what was that Crash Bandicoot game? They look like something fresh out of Crash Bandicoot. And of course, they're all controlled by Faith Beyond, who had an amazing game 1.
Mid lane, there's a Drow on fire, but hey, who's interested in that?
Oh, come on. We saw that during the minor. For anyone who was anyone, they were watching during the minor, and they saw ASD set on the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, this is cool, though. The thing about Drow that I really like is that it's excellent against OD and Jug. They're very susceptible to silences, especially if you're blinked on. And if your silence is an OD, like, you don't orb and you don't do any damage. And that just gives EHOME a win condition. It's not necessarily like the greatest, you know, they're not super outmatching VP in the draft, but they certainly have the win condition. And if they play their game like they did last time, just before, I think they're going to take this one too.
Oh my god, Innocence. Like, was this really worth committing to kill off the boar? Like, he got Pasha's boar, but he gives away first blood to the Beastmaster in the safe lane.
That's huge. He's against the Huskar lane as well. This means he'll be able to land that pull, get himself at least level 3. Beastmaster is one of the best heroes to lane up against a Coddle, though, because you do hit him with the boar and just smack him for 70 damage.
Faith Beyond's coming in to try and contest up solo. Another big hero to watch out for is the Tiny, one of the greatest rotating controllers that was there in the minor. There's this 3-instant stun of Avalanche. It's just really problematic to get away from, not to mention the repositioning. We talk about Blink Daggers on Drows, Tinies with the ability just to toss somebody completely out of position. Something that Virtus.pro will have to respect.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a cool tri-lane concept. They're using the 4 mag. It's something wasn't Roger talking about in the interview as well, how they were typically playing it on Pasha only and they were scouted out. Now you're going to be in a scenario where you're ensuring your Jug free farms, and this is a Jug with a steroid, and that's just something I think this hero needs to be effective. Naked Jug just never feels great when he's just rushing a Battle Fury and completely useless for first 20 minutes of the game. But with a mag, as Black said, you can just buy whatever items you feel like and know that you have that free cleave to rely upon for farming.
Oh, Pasha's really trying to harass Ego out of the bottom lane. Very difficult to do when the inner fire can push you away from him. But he knows Innocence can't force him out of the lane, while Roger on the retreat around top lane. He does have the distance. Tiny can't keep up with him, even though he does have the toss. It's still only, it's level 1. So Roger will take minimal damage, even if he does get it off.
Well, they're doing quite nice. Oh, toss in.
Yep. Try and throw Solo back in, but it's right on top of Faith Beyond, and Ramses won't care about this one. Just turns into the spin, and Faith Beyond's like, there's too many heroes on top of me. How did this happen?
No, well played there. Just funny, our community, you know, I love them, but they really react fast. I was getting some tweets earlier like, is Faith Beyond not just the best offlaner in China, but in the world? It's like, guys, one game, one record.
Let's settle down. He got himself a really favorable matchup, and the fact that it ended up being 1v1, and it was a Darkseer pulling.
Not just that, like, he gets the kill, gets the pull into the creeps, into the runes, into the shrine. Like, you can't ask for a better scenario for a Darkseer.
It's like how willing the scene is willing to give, like, the god tag
Yeah.
Like that was something which was like it was blood, sweat, and tears earned in Warcraft 3 days. In Dota 2, it's a little too loose. Gotta tighten it up.
It's you know why though? It's because on a game-to-game basis, you can go from looking like a superstar to looking like BSJ, and it's just a product of the draft and
Man, beat down more like Faith Beyond that spin. And there's that slow the panel was talking about. So difficult to walk away from. And Faith Beyond's getting, well, hammered down. 2 of the 3 kills that VP have claimed is on this Nature's Prophet. But one of the lanes are still working for them. Like, Dro and Huskar are still kind of doing their thing. But OD and Juggernaut are by far the highest CSs on the board.
And this is big for VP. I don't know how you would track these stats, but in games no one loses mid. I don't think VP has an over 50% win rate. He doesn't lose mid very often, bear in mind, but this team needs him to have this lane advantage to run their strategies effectively.
Oh. Bounty runes are out. Virtus.pro will claim 75% of them.
Look at the stacks as well from Roger. He's already got 2 triples on that top Radiant Shrine. That is huge, especially when you consider he's already got that point up in Empower. As soon as Ramses has treads or fades, you can probably look to see him go take those.
Man, that really... And there's no easy way for EHOME to invade in. Like, Prophet can scout it out with some treants, but at the moment he's using every single one that he's got to just try and keep the top lane away. And here they go again. Put on the frost. Faith Beyond goes under the tower. No attempted TPs away, just accept its own fate.
Yep. It's the Lich factor. This one of the best 5 supports in Dota at the moment. I think you're going to see this hero and Oracle develop a weird relationship as the tournament progresses, because there really isn't a counter to this Frost Shield outside of that offensive purge, and you can already just see how strong it is, especially when you have a high damage core like the Jug. And he just dies in a shield spin, actually. I don't think there's a counterplay.
Well, Pasha's going to be in a little bit of trouble. They've been waiting for this. Huskar's not 6 yet, but it won't matter when the Burning Spear's around. Innocence hits on his Illuminate. You're already finding the kills. Well, Faith Beyond. How is he meant to actually run this top lane?
Not anymore. This lane is just...
Do you just send him jungle? Is it...
No, I think you keep him here. You just got to be a bit more careful. I think Tiny's got to be less offensive and just look to maybe toss defensively.
Well, they're going in again. Shields are up. There's your avalanche toss used over on the Magnus. Faith Beyond trying to focus down as much as he possibly can on the supports. Ignore Ramses. So Solo has to back off, and this is a great play from the Tiny to create a little bit more space, but he walks back into Roger.
Wow.
So goodbye. He's dead.
He had active Shrine there. If he keeps running, I'm pretty sure he actually just tosses to the Drow and they find a kill.
And the fact that Dro is just farming up in the jungle. She's having the time of her life at the moment. You hit that level 6, and with the new marksmanship, you can quickly grind through camps.
Yep.
And Roger's wanting to keep a closer eye. They're putting down sentry wards. They're blocking up the camps. VP. Very, very aware of what's happening with the Drow Ranger and EHOME's lineup.
Yep. And even though he lost the lane, because of the way the new Drow Ranger can just farm so quickly, not really that worried. And look at Solo. So aggressive.
Yeah. They wrap around the back. They put down 3 observer wards, all scattered around this Drow Ranger's farm area. She can't stick in, but that's why you got your avalanche. And Ego pushes them back as well. Everyone's going to go on fire from Virtus.pro. They do not want to fight this. EHOME, just like in Game 1, bring every single hero to defend the invasion of Virtus.pro.
VP brought everyone but Pasha, who's just recovering farming Ancients. That was a heavy commitment. And look at the wards they've placed as well. You can see VP, they don't just ward willy-nilly. They always have a concept of where are we looking to play around? What areas of the map do we want vision in? And obviously, they're looking to control this top Dire Shrine area because they know that's where the Drow's looking to farm. And if you have this mag-empowered Jug, he can actually just steal this from the side of EHOME the entire game with that vision.
Yep, but because they also committed 3 observer wards there, they need to worry about the bottom. Like, there's actually, they've got so many banked up, there's another 2 observer wards over on the Lich. So Solo moves forward, and they'll go with the Roar onto the Drow Ranger, and underneath the Ancients, they'll scout these out. And with the Beastmaster, they may even attempt just to farm them up before the rest of EHOME can come over, but EHOME has already arrived. Observers and sentries being placed once again. Both of them block up the Ancient camp. And then another observer ward a little bit further up to watch the movement into the stacks.
Think VP's trying to play aggressive this game or what?
I think VP want to make sure there's no recovery for EHOME. Avalanche able to stun over on 2. Ego's going to jump in, looking for the kill on the OD. Imprisoment's already been used, just trying to keep the Huskar out of the play for the moment. And O1, he's got more than enough life to tank through this one. He'll rip through Innocence as well. Will lose his life, and Dro Ranger, the one to claim it. That's some good cash for her. And then with the follow-up, a double kill, 2 cores to drop. VP definitely want to be aggressive. They're going to take the top tower, but is that worth it at this point if you're Virtus.pro?
I think so, just because they're getting so much pressure up top. And once you take this tier 1 of Dire, not only does it open up their entire jungle, but it makes Roche a threat or a possible objective as well. And just because of the mag factor, I think if you can trade evenly on the other side of the map to buy all of this space for a jug, it's going to be worth it for you, especially when you consider that he just kills the Drow all game.
I think Beastmaster going to have another fun little play with Faith Beyond, trying to potentially, well, you got Beastmaster all available, and with Solo rotating over, he wants to try and find the kill. But the Ignis trying to pull back the Beastmaster with the Avalanche. Sprout is out, hold him in range so you get a second Ignis attack as well. So Nature's Prophet will lose his life. But he does actually, with the Treants, he claims the kill on Pasha. That Ego really would have liked that.
That was some pretty sick micro from Pasha. He microed his boar to move like around the ring of the Ignis Fatus and get that last touch off that would have killed Faith Beyond. Otherwise, that's going to be a 1-for-0 trade, but he ends up getting the XP as well. You look up top, Ramses, he's going to look to spin, TP out to the top shrine area. These are the stacks that we've been waiting for them to take. 3 points in Empower. They are all in on Ramses accelerating this game.
Well, EHOME are now forcing their way into the tier 1 tower on bottom. It will be attempted trade-off push as Virtus.pro push the mid. But this is meant to be the power of EHOME, where you have that split push power, but it's taking so much. Ramses, he hits pretty damn hard.
Does it just feel like Dota, it seems every game kind of follows the same script, where one team gets out to a lead, invests heavily in gaining that advantage, and they just do more damage, and then the whole game they just seem to be very far ahead. They're going to walk straight into Roche.
Yep, because they know they cannot be contested. Huskar's not ready to fight until that armlet is done. He's not wanting to be in the fight, and we know how Dro Ranger plays the tempo. Is go jungle, is continuously farm, is not get involved. But EHOME gets something in return. Like with the catapult wave on bottom, they're pushing it in as fast as they can. Pasha will come to defend it.
The Beastmaster at this point in the game, we didn't talk about this, but Mag and Beastmaster, it's not just one steroid. This jug is juicing, and you're in a scenario where you have Vlad's up already on the Beast. If you're able to find a couple of kills, you might just go for a Rax right away if you're VP. You're already in a tough spot as EHOME, because one mistake, especially against Aegis, you're going to lose at least 2 buildings.
Well, no one's coming over with that Aegis. It's the OD who's carrying it. EHOME would try to pressure the bottom lane against Pasha, looking for a gank attempt. But Pasha's too good. He sent the boar up the hill first, and EHOME had no other choice but to bring the boar down.
Well, consider how much vision they have, Toby. I mean, there's 4 wards. If you don't see anybody, it's like, they're not in their jungle. Where could they be?
I wonder. And they're still wondering why their ancient camp is blocked up. They put down 2 sentry wards, and they still only found one of the observers. They missed the other sentry and the observer. Yep. They can't keep committing. Okay, now they're going to find the other.
It served its purpose, though. I mean,
it really did. Like, so much money's been burnt.
Not to mention, you look at VP and the map control they've acquired. Up top, you had Roger push all the way to the tier 2. Tiny had to go and catch that. But meanwhile, bottom, 3 heroes looking to shove this tier 1. Ramsey's coming on from the side to link.
And the Beastmaster Hawk sees every kind of aggressive move forward. Even if there's sentries down and the observer, the sentries of the Dire side are not watching that tree line.
Yep.
So it's just up to Innocence, who has to just spam the Cobble Blast all the time.
Look at this. They're going to smoke TP. No one's TPing towards the mid lane, looking for Faith Beyond.
He's got no Sprout to give a little bit of distance.
But Roger's here. He took a weird path, though.
Oh, okay. Well, he Sprouts up 1. Roger doesn't have Skewer available.
No.
So Faith Beyond could have actually just Sprouted and potentially just TP'd out and forced an RP.
I don't think he would have expected him to have used the Skewer, though.
It does seem like an odd thing to have on cooldown.
I think he did it to just get away from the Tiny up top. He was threatened a little bit. But this is sick for Roger because he just farmed a Blink Dagger. And he effectively is just an Empower bot. Now he has a massive threat that could theoretically just win VP the game when you consider there's no peel. There's no actual counter initiation or combo break, save for that Coddle Will-O-Wisp. And if you're able to just RP skewer on a Drow or a Huskar into the Juggernaut Omnislash, that's it. That core's done for.
Yep. Well, they're going to pressure top lane. Juggernaut has the full Manta style completed. So no way for the draw range to get a perfect silence off. Takes the avalanche stun, and the more support rotates over. A little bit of a hit from the Wrath of Nature.
Whoa.
OD and Lich being very visible, and on bottom lane, Beastmaster just... He was hanging out in the trees. The Hawk let him see everything he was getting into, but... EHOME find the kill, and now Blink Dagger arrives for the draw range after getting that kill.
They do burn the Will-O-Wisp, though, and you still have that Aegis up on VP. And check out the net worth. Yeah, it's still only 4K, but the 2 cores of VP are significantly ahead of their counterparts on EHOME, and they also have a lot more help from their buddies in terms of increasing the amount of damage they're able to do. And there really isn't that natural steroid ability on anyone on the side of EHOME. They're all in on this idea that they were going to be the ones ahead.
Yep. Now Virtus.pro. Okay, Ramses is fine with this. They want to make the most of this OD Aegis. They're looking for targets, and Faith Beyond kind of feels a little bit like bait for it. While Dro continues just to continuously farm up inside the jungle. Let's just keep status quo. Prophet will TP down to the bottom lane to add that level of pressure. So they know they're going to let this tier 2 tower go in the mid. Innocence is a little bit too close. Forced off to just get delivered so he can just push himself away to safety. They knew this tier 2 tower will drop.
I think they're just going to go high ground. They know there's no Will-O-Wisp for just a few more seconds.
Yeah, it's like they're buying time. Vlad's gets completed over on the Prophet, so he'll come into the fight with this. You have the Armlet on the Huskar, still trying to work his way into the Heaven's Halberd. And they need to get some sentries down. Observer and sentry is perfect. Coddle stands still for the skill, but 4-star bump. And the gust from Joe Ranger drops him down low. Omnislash, in comes Tiny, just trying to help tank up the Omnislash. And all he could do was just toss back the one melee creep with the Radiant side, not the target he was looking for. So EHOME have to burn Fortification, buy some more time. Sprout to create space, but, well, Act is stronger. Now they get rid of the Observer Ward.
Served its purpose, though. Landed them that kill on Huskar because there was so much panic around the Coddle. And the healing ward back up. Aegis on the OD, bear in mind, not the Jug, so he's got to be a little careful on Ramses, but this is the power of that healing ward against the Coddle spam.
There goes the Aegis Immortal. Time's out. 2 seconds till Huskar is up, so the tier 3 tower will fall and Virtus.pro will back up.
I like this move. You're so far ahead as far as the like you can farm creep so much faster than EHOME on the side of VP, and you have map control. Just go kill shrines and place some wards. You're going to have vision advantage too, thanks to the fact that you've killed all towers and you've got this Beastmaster Hawk.
I love how there's 3 sentry wards that are getting deep. Wait, they didn't see the other one because it's behind a tree. But there were 3 sentry wards inside the mid lane. 2 of them have been taken out. But they didn't see the other Observer Ward that was on the other side of mid lane. So still some good information for Virtus.pro inside the EHOME base.
Yep. Just look for them to regroup. No one's finishing up that BKB in a little bit of gold. Should just need 1 more, maybe 2 more camps to finish it off. And that's, I think, go time for VP. Not go time. I mean, they did just take a tier 3, but they can then look to sort of just walk. They are now an indestructible wrecking ball when they are together. And they can look to position themselves back on the EHOME side of the base where they certainly want to be.
Yeah, as long as they can find that one big combination. Even if it's just like forcing up the high ground, that's fine, but having the RP looming.
And bear in mind, this is the 2nd game in a row. It looks like the OD team against the core Prophet team just snowballs out of control. Wasn't even really.
Like OD's a good hero, right?
Yeah. It doesn't even feel like a snowball though, Toby. Like it's only 18 minutes into the game. I feel like people just have way more items than usual. Like everyone just has so much gold now.
Yeah. That's when you start to wonder, like with the Hand of Midas OD we had in the last game. It's like, wait, do you really need this? Top tier 1 tower is going to get denied up, so this is a lot of money going begging from EHOME.
Yeah, this is a good smoke on the side of VP as well. They're just going to leave Pasha in the lane to shove.
TP'd in quickly into the Omnislash, and he'll bounce over. Huskar needs to try and help tank it up too. Pushes him back, but the Prophet's already dead. Beastmaster Hoxie saw everything, and then your RP skewer him into a quick Chain Frost. Your Ignis may create a little bit of space, allowing Tiny to walk back out, but with Huskar dead, your big portion of damage is gone with him. Tiny tossing away the aggression of Virtus.pro. Buyback did arrive from Prophet, but EHOME don't know they're still totally visible thanks to that Observer Ward. They will definitely know it now as VP just come up high ground. And a Blink Dagger bought from the Tiny. He's going to do something really big with this because the melee Rax is already falling in mid. Prophet will delay the push with the Sprout, but he cannot stop it completely.
Really clean by VP, and that's just a beautiful smoke. VP so good at the way they ward and move around the map. They are the best team when they have an advantage like this. They left Posh in the bottom lane and smoked his 3 while they still had was the OD showing mid, and Ramses just says, oh hey, I found a target, boom, Omni Slash, and now there's still a smoked mag backing him up with an RP, and all of a sudden he catches 2 as well. 3 heroes dead, Rax dead. They blow this game wide open. 20 minutes in, 10k gold lead, and they're about to claim 4 bounties.
Yep. And Faith Beyond, all he can do is try and delay. Like, he's forcing in the bottom lane. But you've lost your Shrine 1. Second Shrine will probably fall after. Hello, ASD. Found his own target over on the Magnus, and the damage output's really, really good. Hold him in place with a Sprout. 322 gold claim for ASD for that kill over on Roger. And he goes back to pushing in the top lane. It's breathing room for EHOME, and they really needed to catch a breath. But they may not last for much longer. Pasha, Invis room, just walking up behind ASD. He'll need a little bit of help, though, if he's going to find this kill.
You got to roar him sooner rather than later, or he's just going to blink away.
Well, he actually blinked already. Now in comes Tiny. Avalanche and Toss. Ramses pushed back out, but a quick mana style. No way to hold him up. ASD will quickly fall. And Tianming will join him as well. 2 heroes dead. One of them doesn't have buyback available.
Yep. This one may be in the books, Tobes. Roche is going to spawn about 1 minute and 20. Ramses is walking around with a pre-19-minute butterfly and 2,500 in the bank.
And there's your Blink and 4 stars arriving, 2 on the OD and the Magnus.
Yep. You just have 2 heroes. It's the same scenario where there's nothing that EHOME has, much like VP, or really in the previous game. They can't deal with magic immunity. So when you have a BKB OD and this jug spinning...
Innocence. He used the Blinding Light to try and control up no one. They're actually holding back the Blink Dagger. But there is no way this Keeper of the Light will survive. Wait,
what?
Wait, there is... Did he disjoint the orb at one? What? That orb was following him, and he 4-staffs up. The Blinding Light must have been in effect or something.
So you remember how you just said there's no way he survives?
Yeah, I realized that. Yeah, cast is curse.
You should tell me there's no way I'd ever be a billionaire. Can you mention that like once a land?
All right, there's no way you'll ever be a millionaire.
Well, that's rude.
How did he actually disjoint that?
Well, I think I believe he just like high ground missed. Or did he blinding light the
yeah, I don't know if because he blinding lighted after he went up the hill.
Well, if you blinding light, so the way mischance works is if an attack is in motion, then you blinding light. I believe that attack will miss.
ASD's found his target, looking to try and kill off Lich. This be a big one if they can claim it for the fight, but no Blinding Light actually pushes Lich up the hill, so Beastmaster gets Aurora over on the Connell, while OD just BKBs and takes care of both the Tiny and then into the Huskar. You can Prophet Sprout up all you want. Lich will buy back. They want to have this kill. Faith Beyond the Ghost Edge protecting him from Ramses Omni Slash. But OD imprisonment, they just wait around him.
Yeah.
And there it is. Prophet down for 70 seconds, and EHOME no. It's done. 23 minutes in, Virtus.pro take game 2 and give us a full series in our first game here on the mainstream.
Yeah, I like the draft a lot more. More of the VP style we know and love. They had plenty of stuns, a ton of ways to control the map, but most importantly, a winning matchup for no one, and Ramses has not just a great start, but a ton of steroids to ensure that he can demonstrate why he is